Hello everybody, welcome back to my page. Today I'm going to be talking about um, when I realized that I am a transgender man. So I realized all of this about about a year ago, and okay, let me backtrack. So I was in previous relationships with women, and during that time I identified as something else to the world and to myself. At the same time, I dressed masculine, and I remember this was about in 2011. I remember I was in the kitchen and I was making some food, and then I was switching it up and cleaning various times of the day. And at one moment, I stood in the living room and I said to myself, why am I thinking about men? But it wasn't even like thinking, it was like I connected at that moment with my masculinity. And it was just radiating outwardly and inwardly. I'm like, I don't like men. I don't even connect with them now. And I am who I am, which was then. So gradually years passed by, and these thoughts and these feelings, especially when I would see men on the street, I'm looking at them like, hey, what's up? I can holler at you, looking sweet right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like I was out of character, but at the same time, I was unaware of where that was coming from and what it all meant. So when I broke up with my 6.5 year relationship with this particular individual, I'm telling you, things just started coming to light. Like it was a sign from the universe and the spirits were talking to me. And I just automatically said, hey, I'm a man. And I did a lot of research. And thankfully, I was already exposed to transgender people. Not that much, but I had an understanding of what it all entailed. And when I discovered my name, which is Xavier, I just connected with it. I'm like, I went through various names. I'm like, you know what? Xavier. Xavier is really even Xavier. And this time I'm going to spell Xavier. Why? Because I'm so unique and authentic and original. So two eyes, not one, two eyes in my name. Okay. And it just suits me. And I don't have a middle name. I do have my still last name. And eventually I will change my last name, but that's not a concern. It was more so my first name I wanted to change. Now that specifically happened last year, January 2014. And during that time, it was in the winter, I got rid of all my feminine clothes or female clothes and gave it away to somebody that I knew at the time. And I felt so relieved. Now, opening back the closet doors and seeing emptiness, I'm like, and my weight was changing and everything. I said, you know what? It's time to go shopping. So I went shopping and I killed it. I got like everything you can think of. I got the shoes, I got the belt, I got the pants, I got the top, I got the t-shirts, I got the sweaters, I got the hats, I got this, that. Like I went all out, and I'm like, positive for what's next. Everything happened rapidly fast, but at a pace that I was comfortable with, and I felt so reassured that and confident that this is okay. This is who I am. Let me embrace this. So I got my first binder. Oh my gosh, I was so stoked. I changed my name. All this happened, mind you, within months, right? Consecutively. Like it just done it very much. Like it was just going, going, going. Everything changed. I changed my name. And I felt confident and comfortable with that. I changed my gender marker one time. I changed all of my IDs one time. I called up people that knew me in the past and said, hey, this is who I am right now. Either you dig it or you don't, but it would be great if you're supportive and you can still see me for me and be here in my life and be on this journey with me. Well, not a lot of people were cool with that. I had to drop a lot of people, and some people just dropped their stuff. They said, hey, I'm not cool with transgender people. I'm not going to be around you anymore. I'm like, all right. It was a pleasure knowing you. You take care. Hopefully positive vibrations going your way. And that's that. Because I don't have time for people who are not uplifting and people who are not positive and people who, are going to be negative. I don't have time for that stuff. Um, but I'm the type of person who's very direct and stern, and I'm a mature being, and I know exactly what I need in my life and who I like to associate myself with. I knew this was going to be a huge transition. So during that time, I had a doctor that didn't know anything about the LGBT community, especially the trans community. So I had to let him go. During that time, I discovered a health center that catered to the LGBT and specifically transgender patients. So what I did in, I believe it was February, I called. I said, hey, I'm transitioning. This is my name. I need a doctor right away so I can get on testosterone. And, some people wait. There's a waiting list. Luckily, I'm just stern and direct, and I know how to communicate and, slither my way into things. Um, it happened. They said, well, at this point, there's like maybe 3 or 4 people who are waiting, and you're in the lead. So, all right. And the person was very kind with me on the line. And March was when I met my nurse. During this time, I don't know how it is for y'all, but here, or at least at that center, I can say, they question you. Are you sure you're trans? What transition have you been doing? Um, Physically and mentally? Do you have support systems? Who have you told? Have you come out to yourself? Have you come out to relatives? Have you come out to friends? Or are some people's reactions? Stuff like that. Have you thought about top surgery, bottom surgery, the effects of being on testosterone, a whole bunch of stuff. All those questions were answered thoroughly, and the nurse was confident and comfortable enough that I was ready to go on testosterone. So basically, April of last year was when I started testosterone. So everything just aligned itself perfectly, and I say, thank you, spirits, thank you, universe, because everything happens for a reason. And you know what? I'm like the happiest guy on the planet. Like before, being whatever gender that was of me before, I was so unhappy. I was so unhappy, so unhappy, so unhappy, so unhappy, so unhappy. Now I'm good. Like, ah, it's a relief. And I'm doing really well with my transitioning. And I've gained a lot of acquaintances in the trans community and also friends. And also, I do a lot of community work in the trans community here where I reside. So it opens up a lot of avenues for me. And there's just so much love and appreciation and respect. And I'm more than grateful to be in a country where I get accessibility to resources for transgender people in terms of groups, which I attended and met numerous people and was able to bend and have and build that support system. And keep in mind, these are chosen family, not biological family. I cut them off many, many, many years ago, so I don't even have to deal with them. I'm good there. And I'm just grateful to be here and to be on testosterone and to get access to have surgeries and to meet all these lovely people in the community. And I went to my first Pride last year, excuse me, let me correct myself, my first trans Pride last year, last June, July. That's when we have our Pride. And I remember I was wearing a button up, a fresh white, button up short sleeve, and I customized my fitted hat, and you know, I believe I was wearing khaki shorts, and I was wearing Converse shoes and my shades. And I met a lot of people there, and I went with a friend of mine, and while we were there, we met a whole bunch of people, and then the group just got bigger. And I tell you, I tell you, from when Pride started, the Trans March, to the end, I was dancing in the street. When I say dancing, I was dancing so hard. I couldn't stop dancing. Like, the energy was going on, I'm just dancing, I'm doing my thing. I'm like, yeah, feeling great right now. And I cried. At that moment, I cried, and it was tears of joy to know that I'm accepted, to know that I'm safe, to know everything's gonna be okay, and to know that I'm not alone. There are other men and women out there who are transgender and who are exceeding, right, and excelling in life. Even though we go through our freaking struggles, we are still here and we're still rocking, and we still have each other, and to sum it up, really, that's really my story of when I discovered that I am a transgendered man. And that's how I go by, trans man. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. And you can ask me anything as you like. This is for the Living in Color channel. And there's great fellas on there, and we're going to explode. We're just going to explode. And thank you all for listening and watching. And you all have a great day. And take care of yourself. Love each other. Bless.